the studio, Mr. Jonathan Honerbrink, and he's running for mayor, and we've been just posing different questions. One of the things is when it comes to schooling and the difference between public school, private school, and home school. Which do you think is the best or better off, or how do you feel about the three?
Well, I think each one has their value, but in Minneapolis, and I am a proponent of school choice. But there's a school out there called Hope Academy that I got to tour, and it was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. Children were learning Latin in 2nd grade. They were doing full algebra in 3rd grade, and it cost the school, through donations, $9,000 per kid.
When it comes to the youth, and when it comes to, because a lot of times they say the youth are bad, or they're always getting into trouble, this, that, and whatever. What are some of the things that you would think about, or that you could make a change in, or that you think we should change?
Well, there's no such thing as a bad kid, in my opinion. There just is no such thing. I worked with kids for a while, and the one thing that's very difficult for a child in Minneapolis is to find a part-time job, to get a work ethic, to have that built up, because there isn't the small businesses in any of the communities anymore. I would love to bring someone into office with me as my staff to help support youth growth in the job market. And I think that's really important, because kids are, the number one thing to me in my plan.
So what do you think about that key word, accountability?
Well, I think it's a really important word, because I believe that people, and myself and the police and anyone that's in office is accountable. The police, they're serving the community. That's the same thing with the mayoral office. You have to serve. And the one thing that I'd really like to do is set up a tax credit for officers that choose to live in their precinct. One thing that's going to do is encourage the neighbors to get to know them. And then they get to know the neighbors and who they serve. That's the whole point of communication.
This is the reason why I'm announcing here today that I'm running for mayor. I was taught by a lot of great people in this city. Marguerite Winston, Ferris Glover, and one of my biggest mentors, Mike Tate, Coach Talley, right over there. He helped me gain my perspectives in life and an understanding on who a community really is and who people really are. So I'm going to work really hard to start home ownership programs in the city. I'm going to work really hard to work on mental health facilities and local hospitals so that the community can actually use these facilities. I'm going to work as hard as I can with Coach Sally, because he will win park board, to get the community centers up and going in the city. I'm going to work tirelessly on small businesses and on the CERT program that's been left behind in Minneapolis, but is growing by leaps and bounds in St. Paul. I'm going to work really hard on accountability with parents, with school systems, and with the police officers. Because I believe the only way to fix things is through communication, not through being divisive. I'm from the city, and I'm for the city. I'm Jonathan Honerbrink, and I will work so hard to be your next mayor. Thank you.